ever got pulled over while you're...
I totally have been, but it's weird. This is not what you think. I took this woman to Walmart, and she's like, "I'll be back in a minute. Will you wait for me?" And I'm like, "Sure, whatever."
So you got pulled over because...
Yeah, she was in there for an hour, but she had just like
She had a backpack.
She had tons of stuff in the back seat though. Like her whole life was in my back seat, so I couldn't just like throw it out and leave. So I just kind of had to wait for her, and she did come out of the place finally, like after an hour, and I pulled away, and I got pulled over in like 2 seconds. So the cops were like waiting for me to like pull away because they saw me on camera like sitting out there, and she was shoplifting.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and then they, probably thought that I was
her getaway.
Yeah, so they were like, "Well, we'll let them pull away, and then we'll get this guy for aiding and abetting or whatever."
One person calls it.
Yeah. Well, dude, but why would you be there for an hour as well?
Just
like,
go in, get what you're gonna steal.
Exactly, and get out of there.
It's like a bad roommate. You just gotta kick their shit out on the curb.
I mean, I wanted to so bad because I'm like, you hardly make any money when you're sitting there. You only make money when you're driving. Yeah. So it was such a waste of time. And then I got pulled over, and the cops were like, "Who are you to her?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm just a driver, man. I have never seen her before in my life." And they're like, "Well, hang tight. We might need to ask you a few questions." And they like took all of her bags out of the back seat and dumped them on the ground, like everything. And they pulled me over like right in the middle of the road, basically. So cars are like going around me for and just staring at me like, "Oh, what did this guy do?" And I'm like, "Oh, jeez." And then that took like an hour, and then they finally let me go.
You didn't get paid for shit.
I mean, I think I made like $17 or something from the drive and sitting for 2 hours. It's like,
so you get paid to sit.
Yeah, it's like 13 cents a minute though, so it's like $8 an hour. Yeah, so it's not worth it. And that's certainly worth it. So I did get pulled over technically, but it wasn't like a traffic stop or anything,
It's a pretty good story though.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't have that story.
Yeah, sure. Well, start driving for Lyft and you'll get all sorts of stories like that.